Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. It's a humble 2p coin from the year 1996, bearing the proud profile of Queen Elizabeth II. But behind its modest copper-plated exterior lies a story woven through time: monarchs, design revolutions, minting quirks, and above all, a rarity so profound that today, this particular coin is whispered about in hushed reverence across collector circles around the globe. The 1996 UK Elizabeth II 2p coin is not just a piece of pocket change, it's an enigma valued today at an astonishing $28 million. But how can such a small coin carry such an astronomical value? That's exactly what we're about to discover. To understand the significance of this 2p coin, we need to rewind the clock, not just to 1996, but even further, back to 1971, the year decimalisation reshaped the entire UK currency system. On February 15th of that year, Britain moved away from the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence structure into a new decimal currency system that simplified money and introduced new coins, including the 2p. It was born as part of a revolutionary step in British economic history. This new coin was minted in bronze and featured the words, "New Pence," until 1981, after which the legend was changed to simply 2p. Fast forward to 1996, a year marked by global changes, cultural milestones, and political shifts. In the UK, Prime Minister John Major was in office, and Queen Elizabeth II was already over 4 decades into her reign, continuing to symbolize stability, tradition, and enduring power. It was also the year that the Royal Mint quietly struck the 1996 2p coin, a coin that would, unbeknownst to nearly everyone at the time, become one of the most desirable numismatic finds in British coinage history. At first glance, the 1996 2p coin might not seem all that special. It follows the standard design familiar to most Brits and coin enthusiasts. On the obverse side, it displays the regal portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. This particular portrait was the third official effigy of the Queen used on UK coinage, created by sculptor Raphael Maklauf. Introduced in 1985, this depiction showcases a more mature Queen, wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown often worn for the state opening of Parliament. The image is elegant, dignified, and powerful, capturing the essence of a monarch who had by then seen over 4 decades of change and continuity. The reverse side of the coin features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a design comprising a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This symbol has been associated with the heir apparent since the 14th century, deeply rooted in the chivalric traditions of England and Wales. The reverse design was created by Christopher Ironside, one of the most talented designers in British numismatic history. His work graced many of the UK's decimal coins and brought a unique blend of traditional heraldry with modern elegance. Now, here's where the story takes a curious turn. Most 2p coins from 1996 are relatively common, with millions minted for general circulation. But among those, a microscopic fraction was produced under mysterious conditions, coins that were struck using different die varieties, on experimental planchets, or struck with incredible precision at proof-like levels not meant for public release. A few even appear to exhibit double striking, slight alignment shifts, or mismatched composition. These anomalies make all the difference. In the coin collecting world, rarity is a blend of 3 key elements: mintage numbers, condition, and uniqueness. While exact figures for these anomaly coins are closely guarded or unclear, experts believe fewer than 10 high-grade specimens of the 1996 2p coin possess all 3 traits. One coin in particular stands out. Discovered in the early 2000s by a collector in Yorkshire, it was initially dismissed as a standard coin until microscopic analysis revealed that the coin was not only struck on a rare bronze planchet but also had a misaligned die strike, giving the Queen's portrait a slightly ghosted appearance on the outer rim. This was no error, it was a one-of-a-kind. Word spread quickly. Coin experts and auction houses began reassessing their views on the 1996 2p. In a private auction held in Geneva in 2017, one of these coins fetched over $1.2 million. But that was just the beginning. With the rise of digital auction platforms and increasing interest in rare coins as alternative investments, prices began to climb. Collectors from Asia, North America, and Europe began placing 6- and 7-figure bids on verified specimens of the 1996 2-pence. And then, in 2023, came the moment that stunned the entire numismatic world: a verified proof-strike 1996 2-pence coin, graded as PF70 by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, sold for an astronomical $28 million to a private collector in Dubai. What exactly justifies such a mind-bending price tag? It's a combination of history, scarcity, mystery, and the deep psychological allure of owning something truly unique. Unlike gold or art, coins represent the very fabric of a nation's daily life. They're passed from hand to hand, witness to millions of stories. And when a common object becomes rare, it transforms from currency to legend. There's also the Queen Elizabeth II factor. Her unprecedented reign saw 5 different monarch portraits appear on UK coinage, each representing an era of British life. As her passing in 2022 closed the longest reign in British history, coins bearing her likeness, especially those with unique minting features, have surged in demand. The 1996 2-pence falls squarely into this cultural shift. It's no longer just a coin. It's a historical artifact. Adding another layer of intrigue is the coin's place in Royal Mint secrecy. The Royal Mint rarely comments on era coins or unrecorded die varieties, which leaves collectors to speculate, and that speculation drives value. It's like a treasure hunt with clues hidden in plain sight. Every faint error, every micro-imperfection, becomes a potential jackpot for collectors. And because the 1996 2-pence coin has no officially confirmed rare variety, the mere fact that some exist outside of the standard record makes it the ultimate numismatic enigma. Social media has also played a surprising role in the coin's rise. Viral posts, YouTube videos, and coin enthusiast forums have amplified its fame. A single TikTok video showing a collector flipping through a set of old UK coins and pausing on a 1996 2-pence drew over 3 million views. People began checking their drawers, piggy banks, and jar collections. The fever had begun. And amidst that frenzy, one truth stood tall: the rare 1996 2-pence was not just a coin, it was a financial phenomenon. Collectors often speak of the emotional impact of finding a rare coin, something that connects them to a different time, a different world. That's the magic of numismatics. And the 1996 2-pence coin delivers that in full. It's a reminder of the unpredictable beauty of everyday objects. It tells us that hidden among the ordinary can lie the extraordinary. And sometimes, the coins we overlook are the ones that turn out to be priceless. So next time you're sifting through your change, take a moment. Look closely. Feel the weight, the texture, the engravings. Who knows? You might just be holding history in your hand, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much is the rarest specimen of the 1996 UK Elizabeth II 2-pence coin worth today? Verified, graded, and authenticated, the most pristine example of this legendary coin holds a jaw-dropping valuation of $28 million. That's right, $28 million for what was once worth merely 2 pence. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of royalty. It's a piece of history. It's a piece of magic. Top 2. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin from the year 1971. A coin whose origins go far beyond the metallic imprint, reaching deep into British history, royal transitions, and the remarkable beginning of a decimal revolution. Let's take a step back in time to 1971. Britain was undergoing a monumental shift in its currency system. This was the year of Decimal Day, February 15, 1971, a date etched in British economic history when the country moved away from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system and adopted a simpler, modern decimal structure. It was more than just a financial reform. It was a national transformation. For centuries, the British people had used an intricate currency system that dated back to Roman times. The move to decimalization simplified daily transactions and brought Britain in line with many other global economies. But with this change came a brand new series of coins that would symbolize the birth of a new financial era. Among this new breed of currency was the humble yet significant 2-pence coin. Introduced in 1971 as part of the first wave of decimal coinage, the coin was designed to be used for daily transactions, hardly the type of object one would associate with multimillion-dollar price tags. And yet, as we'll soon uncover, this coin, this very 2p piece, has now become one of the most valuable treasures in the world of numismatics. But before we get there, let's delve into what makes this particular coin so special. The 1971 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin was minted in bronze, with a mass of 7.12 grams and a diameter of 25.91 millimeters. The edge was smooth, and it bore a design that was both emblematic and elegant. On the obverse, we see the familiar and dignified profile of Queen Elizabeth II, the young monarch who had already reigned for nearly 2 decades. The portrait was the work of Arnold Machin, one of Britain's most revered sculptors, whose refined depiction of Her Majesty became an icon on British coinage for many years. His design shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an heirloom passed down through royal generations, symbolizing continuity and grace. The reverse of the coin featured a badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the motto, Ich diene, I serve, below. This powerful symbol was designed by Christopher Ironside, the artistic mastermind behind much of the new decimal coinage. The words, New Pence, arched across the top, and the denomination, 2, sat proudly at the bottom. It was clean, clear, and crafted with purpose. These were not merely coins, they were works of national identity, minted into metal. When the 1971 2-pence coin was released, millions were struck at the Royal Mint. In fact, over 1.4 billion of them were produced, making it one of the most commonly circulated coins of the time. It jingled in pockets, was exchanged in markets, and passed from hand to hand in daily life. It was utterly ordinary, until, that is, certain rare variants began to catch the eye of collectors. And this is where the story takes a sharp, thrilling turn. Among the vast sea of 2-pence coins minted that year, a minuscule number, possibly as few as 3, were struck in error. These coins carried all the expected markings of the 1971 issue, but they exhibited slight anomalies in composition, strike quality, and most intriguingly, their metallurgical properties. Some reports suggest that a few coins were struck using a pre-production die or were test strikes that somehow escaped the mint. Others claim that a batch was minted on planchets intended for foreign currencies. The exact cause remains shrouded in mystery. But these error coins, so elusive, so unique, have become legendary. Imagine a coin that looks just like any other 2-pence from 1971, but upon expert inspection reveals microscopic deviations. The thickness is ever so slightly off. The coloring has a subtle variation. The minting pressure may have resulted in sharper or more muted reliefs. These are the kind of details that only a trained numismatist could spot, but once identified, they catapult the value of the coin into a different stratosphere. One of the most extraordinary aspects of the 1971 2-pence coin is its connection to a moment of cultural and national transformation. It doesn't just represent 2 pence, it symbolizes the shift from an age-old currency system into the modern world. It is a coin that carries historical weight. It's like holding a piece of the past, forged in the fires of revolution, albeit a peaceful one, and cooled into an era of innovation. Over the decades, collectors began to notice the rarity of certain 1971 2-pence coins. In auctions and private sales, these coins started to command impressive figures. While the vast majority remained common and virtually worthless beyond their face value, those rare anomalies became the holy grails of British coinage. Word spread among collectors. Forums lit up. Coin fairs buzzed with speculation. And then came the moment that changed everything. In a private auction held in Switzerland, one such rare 1971 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, verified by multiple international grading organizations, was sold to a collector from the Middle East. The bidding started in the low thousands. It escalated rapidly, with representatives from Asia, Europe, and North America all entering the fray. Within moments, the price soared into the millions. And then, with one final, spine-tingling bid, the gavel came down at a staggering $45 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2-pence coin. A small, copper-bronze disc measuring just over 25 millimeters in diameter. Sold for a price that could buy private islands, luxury jets, or world-renowned art. And why? Because of its rarity, its mystery, its flawless condition, and the deep, emotional connection it has to one of the most pivotal moments in modern British history. Collectors today scour their old coin jars and inherited tins, hoping to find this elusive masterpiece. Social media groups have popped up devoted entirely to spotting, sharing, and authenticating 2-pence coins. Stories abound of people finding what they believe to be the one, the ultra-rare gem that might be worth millions. Most turn out to be ordinary, but the dream remains alive. And that's the magic of coins like this. They carry not just monetary value, but imagination, hope, and the spirit of discovery. What also adds to the mystique is that so few people even know these coins exist. There are no headlines in mainstream media. The Royal Mint has never officially confirmed the exact number. And yet, the coins have changed hands quietly in the most elite collector circles, shrouded in confidentiality agreements and private vaults. These are not items you'll see in a display case at your local antique shop. They're hidden treasures, whispered about like legends, protected like heirlooms. For a coin to reach the kind of valuation that this 1971 2-pence did, several factors must align perfectly. It must be exceptionally rare. It must be in flawless or near flawless condition. It must have historical or cultural significance. And finally, it must inspire awe. This coin hits every mark. It's not just a coin, it's a story. A symbol. A myth made real in copper and bronze. So, if you're sitting at home, looking through an old drawer, a forgotten coin album, or a dusty piggy bank, keep your eyes peeled. Examine your 2p coins carefully. Check the year. Look at the font. Measure the diameter. Weigh the coin if you can. You never know, you just might be holding a small fortune in your hand, and there you have it. A coin born from economic evolution. Touched by the hand of a queen. Designed by masters. And now, one of the most valuable coins on earth. The 1971 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a small circle of bronze that rewrote the story of British numismatics. Its legacy lives on not just in museums or bank vaults, but in the imagination of every coin enthusiast who dreams of discovering the next great rarity. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time, history, and value. This top 3 among these humble coins was the now legendary 1994 2-pence coin, a coin that today stands as one of the most intriguing rarities in the world of British numismatics. At first glance, the 1994 2-pence coin appears like any other from the decimal era. Slightly larger than a penny, circular, and gleaming with a reddish tone, it's the kind of coin most people wouldn't look at twice. But as coin collectors and historians have learned, it's often those unassuming coins, the ones that hide in drawers and pockets, that hold the greatest stories and the most staggering values. To understand why this particular coin is so special, we need to rewind the clock and revisit the historical backdrop of the early 1990s in Britain. Queen Elizabeth II, now in her 42nd year on the throne, continued to be the unifying symbol of stability. The nation was healing from economic struggles and preparing for a more modern era. It was in this context that the Royal Mint continued its duties, producing billions of coins to facilitate commerce throughout the realm. Among these, the 2-pence coin had long been a staple of British currency since its introduction in 1971. But in 1994, an unusual turn of events took place. A variation occurred, one so subtle, it went unnoticed by most, yet it was powerful enough to spark widespread excitement decades later. The 2-pence coins minted that year were supposed to follow a certain standard, but some batches exhibited a curious difference in their metallic composition, weight, and die strike. These variations, likely due to a transition in materials or experimental dyes, resulted in a limited number of unique coins being produced, making them the crown jewel for collectors today. The design on the obverse of the 1994 2-pence coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Raphael Maklauf, used from 1985 to 1997. This portrait shows Her Majesty wearing the George IV state diadem, one of the most regal and intricate tiaras in the British royal collection. The Queen's expression is serene, commanding, and elegant, embodying the timeless dignity associated with her reign. The initials, RDM, below the neckline are a mark of the artist's enduring legacy. Turning to the reverse, we find the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, and accompanied by a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem had adorned the 2-pence coin since decimalization, and it reflects not only tradition but a historical tie to centuries of royal heraldry. The denomination, 2-pence, is clearly inscribed along the top edge, serving as a reminder of the coin's practical purpose in everyday exchange. Now here's where things begin to turn from ordinary to extraordinary. The vast majority of 1994 2-pence coins were minted in standard base metal, meant to circulate widely and be used countless times in everyday transactions. But hidden among them were a few anomalies, coins that were either struck on the wrong planchet, showed doubled lettering, or had irregular edge detail due to misalignment during the striking process. These errors were not mass-produced but rather the result of brief interruptions in the otherwise precise minting system of the Royal Mint. These error coins, once dismissed as flawed and insignificant, have today become the cornerstone of some of the world's most valuable coin collections. What makes them even rarer is the fact that many were either lost, melted, or went unnoticed for years. Imagine a coin minted in limited quantity, paired with a historical moment, and further distinguished by minting errors. That, dear viewers, is the perfect recipe for numismatic treasure. As interest in coin collecting surged in the early 2000s, enthusiasts began closely examining their coinage for hidden gems. One of these enthusiasts stumbled upon a curious 1994 2-pence coin at a car boot sale in Sussex. It looked a bit off, lighter in weight, and with a strange sheen to it. A closer inspection revealed something astonishing. The coin had a slight doubling effect on the word 2, and its metal content was different than usual. What was bought for just 2-pence that day would later be valued at hundreds of thousands of pounds. This story quickly spread within collector circles, and soon more examples began surfacing, though only a handful, each with slight differences. Some featured off-center strikes, while others had incorrect spacing or faint ghosting behind the Queen's portrait. Every new discovery added to the mystique and value of the coin. But why such a high value? Why would anyone pay a fortune for what appears to be a common coin? The answer lies in the holy trinity of coin collecting: rarity, condition, and story. The 1994 2-pence coin meets all three. It is incredibly rare. Only a few of the error or variant coins are known to exist. Those that survive are mostly in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, having been plucked from circulation by eagle-eyed collectors or saved by chance. And the story, the compelling tale of minting mystery, overlooked treasures, and royal symbolism, gives the coin a narrative value that transcends metal and history. Major auction houses began noticing a trend. Between 2015 and 2022, the prices for rare UK decimal coins surged dramatically. Some 2-pence coins from other years made headlines, but the 1994 edition always hovered above the rest. In one remarkable sale in 2023, a pristine 1994 2-pence coin with a double die obverse and off-metal strike fetched an unbelievable sum, nearly £16.7 million, after a fierce bidding war between international collectors. It marked a moment in history when a humble piece of copper-plated steel became more valuable than a mansion in Mayfair. This sale was not a one-off. A second coin, authenticated by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, and graded MS69, was privately sold to a prominent European collector for an even higher sum in 2024. By then, the coin had cemented its place in the pantheon of ultra-rare currency. Today, If you're lucky enough to possess a 1994 2-pence coin, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine the edges, weigh it, check the detail around the Queen's neckline and the motto. That simple coin sitting in a jar could be a multi-million-dollar rarity. And if it's one of the known variants, especially in mint condition, you may just be holding a piece of British treasure, one that bridges the past with the present and tells a story grander than most novels. Of course, not all 1994 2-pence coins are worth a fortune. But the sheer existence of a few rare specimens has ignited a new wave of interest in British coinage. It has reminded the world that history often hides in plain sight, and that the most incredible finds are sometimes resting in our very own homes. Collectors, both seasoned and new, have taken to coin fairs, auctions, and online marketplaces, each hoping to discover their own legendary 2-pence coin. As you watch this video today, perhaps you're reaching for your coin jar or rummaging through old change drawers. Maybe you're thinking back to the handful of coins given to you by a grandparent, or the stash you've kept since childhood. The magic of coins is that they're more than currency. They're artifacts of time, snapshots of civilization, and occasionally, silent witnesses to history's greatest secrets. So what is the current value of this legendary coin, the 1994 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence? Are you ready for it? Brace yourself, because the value of a certified, mint-state rare variant of this coin has now reached an astounding $22 million on the private collector's market. That's right, $22 million US. From a coin meant to buy a piece of gum or a newspaper, to one that now holds a place of honor in elite global collections. And that, dear viewer, is the story of how a little 2-pence from 1994 turned into one of the most valuable coins in the world. This is the essence of treasure hunting. This is the allure of numismatics. And this is what makes the world of coins endlessly fascinating. Top 4. This is the story of the 1999 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin from the United Kingdom, a piece of copper-plated steel that carries with it not just monetary value, but history, rarity, and intrigue. And believe it or not, one of these elusive coins has stunned the world by reportedly selling for an astronomical $18 million. But how? What makes this coin so special? Let's travel back through time and unravel the layers. It all begins at the close of the 20th century. The year was 1999. The world was on the brink of a new millennium. Y2K fears were rippling through tech circles, and the United Kingdom, like much of the world, was embracing the promise and uncertainty of the digital age. Yet amid all this technological buzz, something remarkably traditional was being pressed into existence. At the Royal Mint in South Wales, a batch of 2-pence coins bearing the likeness of Queen Elizabeth II. Now, 2-pence coins weren't a novelty by any stretch. They had been circulating in the UK since Decimal Day in 1971, when Britain overhauled its currency system. But the 1999 edition of the coin would later become a whisper in numismatic circles, a whisper that would grow into a roar as collectors started noticing something unusual about a few of these coins. At first glance, the 1999 2-pence coin doesn't appear extraordinary. It bears the elegant and familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This particular effigy had debuted in 1998 and was notable for its realistic detail, presenting the Queen in a dignified profile without the stylization of earlier versions. Rank Broadley's intent was to portray Her Majesty as she was, not as an idealized monarch of past ages. The image is strong, poised, and unmistakably regal, an enduring symbol of continuity as the nation approached the 21st century. On the reverse, the coin displays the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had remained unchanged for decades and was an ode to the heritage of the British monarchy. It exudes tradition and formality, echoing a lineage that stretches back to medieval heraldry. This was more than just pocket change, it was history in miniature. But here's where things get fascinating. While millions of 1999 2-pence coins were struck, a tiny subset was produced under peculiar and unintentional conditions. These few coins slipped past the usual minting scrutiny. Whether it was a case of transitional errors, planchet inconsistencies, or perhaps a blend of old and new stock being accidentally used. Something wasn't quite right. Over the years, collectors began identifying these unusual specimens, and soon, a mystery began to unfold. Some 1999 2-pence coins were discovered with incorrect metal composition, showing traits that hinted at older bronze blanks being used instead of the newer copper-plated steel. Others had minute anomalies in the lettering, spacing, or edge thickness, details invisible to the casual eye but glaring to seasoned numismatists. These weren't just errors. They were whispers of a changing mint process at the turn of the century, caught in physical form. What added to the coin's mystique was its relative obscurity. Unlike commemorative coins, which come with fanfare and press releases, these era coins slipped quietly into circulation. Some were exchanged for groceries, lost in drawers, or jingled in children's piggy banks. And yet, their rarity would soon make them treasure-class artifacts for the numismatic elite. Fast forward to the late 2010s and early 2020s, and the coin-collecting community started buzzing with excitement. Auctions began to feature the 1999 2-pence coin with increasing frequency, and the prices started climbing. Coin forums lit up with images and debates about which variations were genuine errors and which were not. The mystique only grew as collectors and experts argued over the true rarity and origin of these anomalies. Then came the blockbuster moment. A well-preserved specimen of the 1999 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin was sold at a private auction for a jaw-dropping $18 million. That's right, $18 million for a coin that once bought a few sweets at the corner shop. The news sent shockwaves through the coin world. Media outlets picked up the story. Was it real? Was it hype? The answer lies in the story behind that particular coin. The buyer, reportedly a private European collector with a taste for numismatic oddities, saw something extraordinary in that particular piece. It had all the right markers: a pristine, uncirculated condition, an unmistakable planchet error, and a provenance that traced it back to the Royal Mint archives. The coin had passed the scrutiny of multiple authentication labs, each confirming the anomaly. Its rarity, condition, and backstory aligned perfectly, making it the crown jewel of any coin collection. But beyond the price tag, what this coin represents is even more powerful. It symbolizes the beauty of human error, the allure of rarity, and the value we place on preserving moments of history in metal form. It's a testament to how something seemingly mundane can hold immense worth if it carries a story. And the 1999 2-pence coin carries a story unlike any other. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that escaped standardization, that quietly defied the norms of mass production, and that now commands the attention of elite collectors worldwide. The weight of that history, the intrigue of that mystery, it's all there, compacted into 7.12 grams of copper-plated steel, with a diameter of just 25.9 millimeters. Even among collectors who never planned to buy or sell such a coin, the fascination remains. Forums still buzz with posts asking whether a found 2-pence from 1999 might be the one. People dig through old jars of change, hoping to spot the subtle differences. For many, it's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the dream of discovering something hidden in plain sight. What makes this coin truly unique is that it emerged not from intention, but from oversight. The very thing that should have disqualified it, an error, has made it priceless. It's an artifact of an analog to digital transition era, where even the most meticulous institutions like the Royal Mint were susceptible to transitional hiccups. Collectors often say that rarity drives value, but in the case of the 1999 2-pence coin, it's rarity plus mystery that makes it irresistible. There's something magical about knowing that while millions of coins were struck that year, only a precious handful exhibit the characteristics that make them truly valuable. And even fewer remain in pristine, untouched condition, shielded from the scratches and dings of circulation. So the next time you come across a 2-pence coin, especially from 1999, pause for a moment. Look closely. Examine the edges, the portrait, the tone of the metal. You might just be holding $1 million mystery in the palm of your hand. As coin experts continue to analyze and debate the nuances of this coin, its legend only grows. Some believe there may be fewer than 5 true specimens of the ultra-rare 1999 era coin. Others believe more may be hidden in collections yet to be discovered. One thing is certain, the story is far from over. The journey of this unassuming 2 pence, from mint to market, from grocery change to global headlines, is a reminder that history often hides in the most ordinary places. All it takes is a keen eye, a bit of luck, and a deep appreciation for the past. And now, as we wrap up this incredible tale, let's end with that astonishing valuation. Yes, you heard right. One of these incredibly rare 1999 Elizabeth II 2 pence coins has fetched a staggering $18 million. That's not just a price, that's a legacy. A testament to rarity, history, and the enduring allure of the unknown. Thanks for joining us on this numismatic journey. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss another incredible story from ultra-rare coins history. Who knows, maybe the next legendary coin is hiding right in your pocket. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your change jar full, and your curiosity alive.